Good morning, Star Citizens, and welcome back to 3.16. 3.17 still not out, so I thought I'd spend a little bit of time doing a little bit more Prospector mining. If the patch drops and I lose these jobs, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'm not going to really mine too much, so I thought I'd just have some fun, do some planet-side mining. So you're going to be able to see some planet-side mining here. I recorded this yesterday, which would have been April 13th, and it is now Thursday, April 14th. And instead of going out and shoveling all the snow that fell overnight, I've decided instead I'm going to play some video games. I'm going to record over this video and just talk about what I'm doing to show you how quickly on this planet you can get Quantanium. Now your results will vary, but you can actually get Quantanium quite quickly. And at the very end of this video, I'll show you a quick example of how to search for Quantanium on Lyra. So here we are. We're looking at this now as we are coming in to the planet. We're heading towards Elsewhere. We're about 170 kilometers out, and we're just using Elsewhere because it's a place I can jump to just to get close to the surface. And I chose it only because it is on the light side of the moon. It's not a shadow, and that'll make it a bit easier. So we're now about 23 kilometers out, and we are just coming to the stop. Cooldown happened there, and now we're going to aim kind of away. We're not going to fly towards that point of interest. We're just using it as a means to an end to get down the surface. So we're still about 20,000 out because of the angle we came in. So we're flying down towards the surface. We want to get to about maybe 2,000, 1,000 above the surface. That's where you want to be. And so I'm not even going to bother scanning till I get a bit closer, but sometimes I like to hit tab, shoot a little burst as I get closer just to see if there's anything I should be aiming towards on my way down. But I want to keep my heading away from the point of interest I flew towards, so even if there's something behind me, I may not bother to do it. But here we are, we're about, maybe now about 7,000, 8,000, we're coming down. I hit out a burst, and there you can see there's a few things all around, different ones we can aim for. I'm going to aim for this one here. Now, while you're moving, the actual location of that box isn't really accurate. So if I rescan now, it might actually shift a bit, showing me that we're supposed to be somewhere else. You can see there the asteroid, the rock mineable, not rock mineable, the mineable rock, I should say, is a little bit to the right of where the box was showing us it was. Now I'm just going here to kind of look at this one to kind of show you, but this is not what we're looking for. We're not looking for one particular rock all on its own. The only reason I'm doing this is to show you that sometimes things don't scan when you're very close. I'll go into mining mode here once I've slowed down a bit, and this one I believe actually did scan right away. I got a little bit lucky. There you are. Obsidian, it says obsidian deposit. That's not what you want. Some rocks you have to get right up to. You have to get about maybe 50 meters away before you can scan it. So if you're not scanning rocks, just try getting closer. But here we are, another ping out, another one 5,000 meters away. Two rocks side by side. That is exactly what we're looking for. Two signals next to each other. If you get 2, 3, 4 more, it doesn't matter. Finding more signals together is almost always Quantanium. And you can tell by looking at it too, it'll have a different color, have like these kind of mottled, kind of peach pink colored patches on it. But if you're finding two stones at the same location, at the same ping, almost always on Lyra, it is Quantanium. So we're coming closer here, and now I can actually see the mottled color on there, the pinkish color you can see on there. That tells me this is what I'm looking for. But I'm going to scan these rocks. This one, again, scanned at about 130 away. Not bad. Sometimes they scan only 3.3% or so. But sometimes these scan, you have to be right up to touching them. You can see this one here. I'm getting closer to be able to scan it. Checking out this one here. And waiting for the result, 40%. We lucked out, finding an awesome one right away. Now, you'll notice I have two, like a Torrent 3 module, and I have a focus module on here. I don't have any surge, just using the Torrent 3 and the focus, giving me more laser power and allowing me to crack that rock at the expense of a little bit of stability. But I'm also using the Lancet mining head, which really cuts down on the instability of the rock. That you can see it's filling it up, and it's not really going up or down too much. You got to get close. You can see now I'm at about 7.7 meters away. Get real close to the rock, putting in power, but that power is going up. Now this rock is just under 5,000 for mass, so it's not a massive rock. If you find one that's over 7,000, really surge is the only way you're going to break that. But for most rocks you're going to find here in Lyra, this setup will work without having to use any modules. So it's a good thing. I was just trying out different modules to see if this works, and you can see this instability is causing this to drop a bit. The power is now going down. Just keep at it, just wait, and it's going back up again. So it might take a little bit, but you're going to be able to crack these rocks and get the Quantanium. So we'll just watch here. We are already at the 4-minute mark, maybe about almost 5 minutes, and we are almost cracking our rock. So we're already well ahead of the curve as far as time is concerned and getting a fast run to get a full load of Quantanium back to the refinery. So you can see there, I'm still at 100%. It just dropped down, dropped back up again. We're just starting to get to put power into the rock, and it's right on the edge. So I've actually inched a bit closer. I'm now 6.7, so I've moved a meter closer, getting a little bit more power into there, and there we are. We're starting to get it, starting to go up. I'm going to keep it at full power until it gets closer to the top. Now I really do wish they went back to the old mining UI. This one is really hard to see between overcharge and optimal. The light gray or the light green on even lighter green doesn't really help. So hopefully they fix this and they replace the colors with a darker green like it used to exist. So there, I went just in the overcharge for a moment. I dropped it down to about 80%. I did back up a bit, and there we cracked it. Cracked the rock. We are good to go. Now with a rock that did have 40% Quantanium, there's a good chance you're going to find a lot of 100% rocks. So there we are. That one is 100%. But even looking at the parts we're going to break apart, look at this one here, 100%. So I'm going to crack this open, and I'm not even going to bother scanning the purple smaller rocks that you can extract. I'm going to know every little piece that comes out of this is going to be 100% Quantanium. So break apart all the hundreds that you can, see how many you can get, because then you don't have to spend any time during extraction checking everything. Just suck up everything, and they're all 100s, and they're going to fill your hold with pure Quantanium. So this one went into overcharge a couple times. I turn on and off the laser. No worries, as long as you're not overcharging too much and we're filling up that green bar. Now it does move very slowly, as you can see. That is to do with the Lancet mining head. That's the trade-off for the stability, is a lack of quick charging, not putting a lot of power into the rock once it's there. But those pieces, both 100% Quantanium. We'll start scanning this one. See this one? Nope. Already I know it's not 100%. I'm going to keep going, looking for another one. I want to see how many you get. You can learn pretty soon how much you have. Now this is a huge rock. You can see this is hard to read there, very blurry. Looks like it's about 900 for mass, and it's 100% Quantanium. That's going to give me a lot of pieces. That's going to give me a ton in my cargo once I break this. Again, once I break this, I know all those little pieces are pure Quantanium, ready to be extracted. So this one here, I'm just at the overcharge level. I'm having to turn the laser off and then turn it back on again. So no worries, keep it going, nice and steady, and we're about halfway there. I've had to put a little more power in here. I actually dropped for a second there, just under the optimal, and so it's starting to lose its charge, so we bring it back up. Keep going and looking for it to fill. Once the bar fills full, you will be able to just back away. The charge will be in the rock, and it'll turn off your mining head right away automatically. So you don't have to turn it off. You see here it's going to turn off automatically. Once it does, you can back away, and it breaks in all those pieces. Every single one of those pieces, pure Quantanium. Another piece here, still yellow, still too big. We're going to try to scan it, see what it is. Waiting for the scan. And this one, again, inert and aluminum, not what we need. Look over here, what do we have? We're scanning this one. Aluminum, 7% Quantanium, not even going to bother. Move on to the next one, see what we got. Nothing. Nothing that we need, 7%. We're pretty much done. This one here, we're back to extracting. Now I know I can extract everything. I don't have to scan it, I just start extracting. Everything I'm extracting is pure Quantanium. You can see every once in a while inert materials is showing up there on the right, then it disappears. Really, it's just something in the game, kind of just, maybe there's like, the 100% is actually 99.9, but if you're looking here, we're already up at 6 SCU, we're at 9 SCU, we're at 10, And we're not having to scan any of these rocks to see what they're made of, because we know anything outlined in purple is 100% Quantanium, because that's all we left there. We didn't break a rock. If you do have a rock that might have ones that are maybe a few percent, you might leave those to the end just to top up your tank if you need it. But here we go. We're already at 17 SCU of pure Quantanium, working away, extracting, and this is incredibly fast because we already know what all these rocks contain, that we don't even have to bother looking at them up. We're at 20% or 20 SCU, I should say, of Quantanium. Continuing to go, grabbing the next one, ready to go. We're at 22. Now we're at 24. Just making money, and we're already at, just now, the 10-minute mark from coming in from orbit to searching and starting to do the extraction. So here we are. We are now at 29, 30, 31, and we are at 32. We are full. The cargo is full. 32 SCU of Quantanium. Point to the sky, and we're going to get out. Now, this is another reason why going to Lyra is awesome. We are out of Atmo. We are ready to jump. Now, you notice I'm jumping to CRU L3. I'm not jumping to ARC L1. The best thing to do when mining is to jump off to a different location. So I'm going to go to the orbital marker here, and then from that orbital marker, I'm going to be jumping to CRU L3. The reasoning why is if someone's got a mantis and they've set it up with a snare, hoping to catch miners coming, they know the best place is between Lyra and ARC L1. So choose a new location, and I change it up. Maybe we'll go to Crusader, maybe I'll head towards Hurston. Jump in the opposite direction. So I'll show you in a moment. Once I'm jumping towards that location, you'll see what I do. Because the snare is only about 20 kilometers on either side of where the mantis drops it. So I can avoid going straight from Lyra to the refinery station and basically go around any snares that may exist there. So now I am in jump. I'm going to set the route to ARC L1, and I'm going to watch my ship. And my ship is now flying on an angle away from the moon, but also slightly towards ARC L1. Not actually in the direction that I need to go, but if there's any snares that are around between the planet and the Lagrange point, I am going beside them. I'm going around that snare and avoiding any piracy. So this is a good way to avoid piracy. At any point now, I'm on a far enough angle, I believe, that I can go out of jump just by holding down B again, turn off my engines, and while it's cooling down, aim myself towards ARC L1, and I'm heading there. Now, because I was smart on how long I spent mining and how you can get out of the moon gravity very fast, this is a great thing to do. You still got plenty of time. Even though you might land when it's about 8 minutes left, when the yellow light's coming on, 8 minutes is still a ton of time to get to the refinery deck and refine your goods. So here I am, ready to go. Off I go to ARC L1. I've now gone enough off to the side that hopefully I'm not going to be stopped by any snares. I can be able to get to the refinery in time. If you're stopped by a snare and they're demanding payment, by this point it's not worth it because you've stopped. You're not going to get to the refinery in time. You're probably going to lose your cargo regardless. So unless you're really worried about losing your modules, but you're making enough profit hopefully by mining, the modules aren't a big thing, you're safe. You're good to go. So here we are coming in. We're about 2 million kilometers away. Once we get to ARC L1, I'm going to just come in for a landing, and we'll see. Hopefully I remembered to see how much time I actually have left on my my mining. I don't recall if I actually looked at it or not, so we'll see. But we're flying to ARC L1. You notice there's nothing pulling us out of Quant, so we are quite safe now, coming in 800,000 kilometers away. Now, when you come to any Lagrange point, you actually don't arrive at the station. You arrive outside of the station, usually about 60 to 80 kilometers away. So once the cooldown happens, it is faster, instead of flying right there, to do another small jump just to get you that little bit closer. So we're under 200,000 kilometers away now. And we're starting to slow down, coming to the last point. Here we are. What a beautiful cloud. Cool down. Well, it's cooling down. We're just waiting. Kind of get myself in a position. I can see the station. I could fly towards it. I'm just not going to bother because it's not going to make any difference after this jump happens. Now we're spooling up. I let the spool happen a bit before I really do the calibration. That way I don't finish calibration before the spool. Sometimes, right now it is going to happen, sometimes it'll stop you from being able to jump and you have to look away. This time it worked. Now we're coming in. I usually give it a bit of a pause before I hit B. That way I have less of an issue where the markers pop back up again and again while you're trying to fly. I've taken my max speed and went down a little bit. And try to remember, usually around now, but I did take a little bit longer this time. I hit N to put my landing gear down. I try to always remember to put my landing gear down well in advance so I don't forget it while I'm coming in for a landing, especially if the timing, the timer starts flashing telling you have limited time. You might start to panic and forget to put the landing gear down, making little mistakes. You don't want to do that. What a beautiful station, though. I love these big, craggly rocks that are around there. Although, one of them looks like, now I'm looking at the video footage, like it's going through the space station. The rock is kind of around the station arm. I don't know if that... Is that what's happening? Maybe. Contact ATC to land. This is one of the few last times we'll be doing this. Hopefully soon. It'll just be a one-button request of landing. I can't wait for that. So now we're flying towards it again. Just waiting to see. There we go. That's where they want us. Still haven't put my landing gear down. By now you should definitely have done that, but I haven't done it yet. Flying there. I've sped up a little bit just to get closer. I'm still keeping my speed in charge. I'm looking here. I'm almost at the 8-minute mark. 8 minutes, 7 seconds. So I know that yellow light's coming on soon. 8 minutes though, still a ton of time. So now I'm putting my landing gear down. I can see the gear light flashing as I'm coming through. Coming in a little bit high, just so I can come see the landing and spot it as I come in. I've most wheeled down a little bit too much, so I most wheel up again just to make my speed a little bit slower. I like using the most wheel to set the maximum speed to help me control my speed when I'm landing. I also like to turn a little bit like I've done here for landing so that when I come out of the door it's more of a straight shot to get to the airlock. So we've come out here. No yellow light yet. Did it come out? Did it come on while I was in here? Maybe it didn't. So we're doing okay. Exit the ship. Oh, there you go. The yellow light has just come on. So that means must be about 7.5 minutes that it comes on. Running in from pad 2. Checking to see there. The ladder didn't go up. Oh, someone left a medical gown there on the ground. Coming into the doors, the elevators. This is sometimes, this and the refinery elevator, the two ones that are the most stressful part. You're thinking, I'm running on a time limit now, and I've got to wait for elevators. But here we go. Close those. And then, when you get up to the lobby, store your ship. The reason why you want to store your ship is because that way no one can attack it, no one can steal it. Eventually, if you're having cargo and you're going to be selling it somewhere, no one can start taking cargo out of your ship when everything's physicalized. Always store your ship when you land. It's just a bit safer than leaving it out on the pad. Also, there's less chance of it being impounded. So here we go. We're going to come in. We're going to store this. I see the Constellation still on there. I rented that for a day, so it shouldn't still be showing up, but it is. And here we are in Wide Forest. Is that what this is called? I didn't see the sign quickly enough there, but elevator's nice and close, just around this corner. Doors open right away. Good to see that. Refinery deck. And another long wait, but definitely this is not going to take 7 minutes, so I know I have plenty of time. We are now at the 18.5 minute mark from when I was in orbit, and I've dropped to the surface, scanned for asteroids, checked out a couple, found this giant one, broke it apart without using any of the consumable modules, sucked everything up, 32 SCU of Quantanium, flew back to the station, taking a little bit of a longer route, landed, and at 19 minutes, coming up right now, I am coming up to the kiosk. So under 20 minutes to get to the kiosk. That guy having a bit of an issue there, and we are able to sell. Now I will go quickly to the sell raw ore. I actually do end up refining this, but I just wanted to check. Prospector, 140,800 for a full load. Once I refine it, that's going to be almost double. You're going to have to take away the cost for refining. So I'm going to start looking at some of the refining jobs here, deciding what I want. I'm definitely not going to use Dinix, which is the one I normally do, because it's going to take too long. But we got the Cormac method. So if I look at Dinix here, do I end up using it? No, Cormac method, and it is high speed, low yield. I want to find at least some moderate. So we go low speed, high cost, high yield, high speed, high cost, moderate yield. Going through this, and I start looking at the different. I don't remember which one I ended up using, but I'm now using this one, the electrolysis, for what I'm doing now. It's a little bit slower, but by little I'm meaning a few hours, and you're getting a moderate yield. But for now, that's what I'm using, because no matter what it costs, it's still making me more. If you're taking the amount that you're selling it for, like if I look at this here, if I go to the Quantanium and I choose it and I get a quote, this would take me a day and 18 hours, 64,000. It might take me double or triple the cost to get it to about 3 hours, but I'm going to still make a profit. So that's what I'm doing now. I am just doing a little bit of mining, quick refinery jobs, and getting some stuff done. I do think for this one I might have chose Dinix, but everything else I'm using electrolysis. So I'm going to go quickly to another video now and just show you how I scan for items when I'm not so lucky to find them right away. So here I am coming down to buckets. I don't know what buckets is, it's another POI, but coming into buckets, and again, like anything else, I'm just going to move the other direction, head down to the surface. I don't know why I hit F1 there, I meant to hit F11, or F12 I should say, to turn off the global chat. Maybe that's what I did. Hit F11 instead of F12, that's what I did. Turn off global chat. I decided I'm going to put a little pulse out here and start heading towards some of the nodes to see what's there. You're looking again for nodes with multiple rocks in there. Whether it is 10 or 2, it doesn't matter. Very, very, very rarely have I ever seen a rock node that has 2 showing up that was not Quantanium. It's almost always Quantanium. So I'm keeping my altitude here closer to about 2,000 as I go through, flying at a fairly moderate speed and just looking for different goods. And I'm looking for 2 signals popping up at once. So here's another one about 6 kilometers away, gonna fly towards it, see what shows up, and 2 showed up. There we go. So that quickly I found Quantanium. However, you're gonna see in a moment that I passed these ones by, and you'll see why. So coming up now, I'm back in mining mode. I've scrolled wheel down before going to mining mode to limit my speed so I'm not going too fast. And I'm going to check these out. Not scanning right away. I got to get real close to these. Real close. There we go. Quantanium, which I already knew just by visually looking at what they look like. But look at this rock. 3.7. No thank you. We'll move on to this one, hoping that this one is the bigger one of the 2. And it's not. It's got about the same, about 3%, so no thanks. I'm going to go raise my altitude back up to about 2,000, do another burst, look for another signal. I head out. That's only one popped up. I already know it's not worth it. I'm going to start flying again straight ahead, about 2,000 meters above the surface, flying at about 300 meters a second, heading out. Another pulse here, just one that way. I'll fly towards it. I don't have to get that close. You only got to get about maybe 4,800 meters, maybe a little less, maybe about 4,000. 2 signals. That's what I'm looking for. Almost certain, again, it's Quantanium. Worth checking out, worth heading towards. So don't worry about finding every Quantanium rock and mining it. If it's not worth it, keep looking. Look for the big score. Anything you're finding that's maybe 20%, maybe go mine that, especially finding 2 rocks of 20%. But that rocks there that were only 3%, I'm going to ignore. So we're coming in. Now this one here, let's see when it starts scanning. Again, you got to get super close. I don't know why it's like this now, but here I am. There we go. Quantanium, of course it is. And less than 3%. Heading back this way. And again, not worth it. Head back up. Give yourself a little bit of altitude so you can fly. We're going to keep going, searching again. So this has been 3 minutes since I was in orbit, and I've already found 2 nodes of Quantanium. This is why Lyra is the place to mine. Be on the day side so you can see the topography, you don't slam into a mountain. When I'm flying towards these nodes here, none there, none there. That one's not it. Those are the issues you have when you're moving, where the box doesn't line up with the asteroids, but it's not what we're looking for. 2 show up. Once again, Quantanium. Now there's no bigger groups here. If you find a group of showing up of 4, 5, or 6, your chances of finding a large rock in those are better, so always check them out. But even these ones with 2, you might score big. So we're gonna head down and check this one out and see what we got. Now you'll notice I'm trying to like lean a bit while I'm flying. It was taking me a bit to angle myself. I was drifting a bit because I was going fairly fast. The Prospector isn't known for its quick turning and braking powers. Coming in again, 400 away. Let's see what we got here. 200 away, 100 away. Quantanium. You can see the kind of orangey pink color to it. This one here looks like about 9. What a blurry text, I can barely see. 9%, not great. Let's look at this one though. See what we got. And there we go. Almost 40%. It's 38.54, 36.54. I can't read it. It's all blurry. 5 minutes from orbit, and I'm already cracking this rock. Gonna get this one. Gonna break it apart again. I don't need to use any consumable. I'm just using a torch and a focus, and we're bringing the power into this rock, and we're going to crack it and break it apart. Now, once this is done, I'm going to just show you the end result of me extracting, and then we'll go to the refinery and look at how much that refinery job would net me if I was to sell this right away. So we've just broken the last bit of rock there, and I'm going to start extracting all this, putting it all into my cargo. Total time to extract all this is going to take about 1.5 minutes, and in that time we'll see how much. This is not a full 32, unlike last time, but it is still fairly profitable, a really good rock to find. And again, it only took a few minutes of work in order to get this. So this is how prospector mining is making people money. This is the place to go and the way to get that money in the bank. It may seem repetitive, but I actually very much enjoy prospector mining. I enjoy mining of all types, even hand mining. As you know if you're watching my videos, I enjoy hand mining. I enjoy rock mining. Usually, lately it's been less enjoyable. That has everything to do with current gameplay and not the rock itself. And this is why the Orion is my dream ship, and one day I would love to own an Orion. It's probably not going to happen, but you can still dream that you can afford something like that one day. So here we are. We're already at 18 SCU, and I'm just kind of looking around seeing what else was left to suck up. I couldn't remember how much more purple rocks with extractables were in it. So I'm looking through here trying to find this one. I'm scanning because I actually don't know what this one contains. But we're going to head back to the refinery and look and see how much we sold this for. So looking at this here, we could sell these goods for 108,763 UEC. But we're not going to do that. We're going to head over to the refinement center itself. We're going to set up a job. So again, we're going to begin. There we go. That's what's left of the Dinix one. It was a day and 18 hours. It's now been down to 21 hours before that'll be ready to go. I do look through all these, seeing what I would like to refine. So I have 2,470 Quantanium, 2,470 units of Quantanium. I am going to eventually choose the electrolysis, and I can't remember how much. I believe I lose maybe about 300 or 400 in the refinement process, but you're doubling the cost that you're gonna that you can sell these for. So you're still gonna come out ahead. So electrolysis, let's see, it's gonna cost me about 10 grand. It's gonna take 2 hours and 50 minutes, so 3 hours basically. And so going back and forth, I'm just checking out the last things, but once we go back to electrolysis, I will I'll see what the end amount is. So there we go. So get a quote. There we go. And the end yield will be just under 2,000. So you lose about 400 SCU. during the refinement process of doing this a faster way. However, if you think of how much I was selling that for, I'm still going to make a huge amount of money. I'm still going to make more money by doing this and waiting 3 hours and selling it than just selling it right there. But 100,000 for a few minutes of work, it's also worth it to just sell it if you want to do that. If you don't want to do the refining, if you don't have a ship to put the goods in and move them around, you just have the Prospector and maybe something small like an Aurora, definitely just selling things is a good way to make money and earn money to even use as a rental cost to then start transporting refined goods to a location and making even more money. So there we are. Prospector mining on Lyra while I wait for 3.17. Hopefully now, as much as I want this patch to drop for the weekend, I'm hoping it doesn't drop tomorrow until I can sell that last refined good, the 32 SCU I had. And after that, let's drop that patch. Let's get this going. Let's get ready to play 3.17 and see how it is. And then we can start doing even bigger rocks if we find them using some of those mining gadgets that are coming out. So until next time, I hope to see you soon in the verse. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.